Hey humans, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for sticking with me, and make sure you turn on your post notifications so that you get notified every time I bless your screen. I'm 5'10" Yenn, of course. Well, Yenn, if you don't know me. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. As y'all know, I posted a video maybe about 2 vlogs ago that I was pregnant. So yes, I am pregnant. I am currently almost 26 weeks, and I'm sorry, I got a text message. So today I'm basically going to talk about, like, I wouldn't say like the full progress of it, but some progress of it. And, you know, things that I found out as I was at the doctor. So I had an appointment last week, and hold on, y'all, I need some water. I'm basically going to try to make this video as short as possible. I'm going to try to keep it under 15 minutes because I want to finish this video before my kids get home. And they'll be home like pretty soon. So I went to the doctor, and you know, I got my anatomy scan, and this was around 23 weeks. This was, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I got my anatomy scan, and I was 23 weeks exact, and everything went great. The baby's growing really big, actually. She's actually measuring bigger than what she is, which was 23 weeks at the time. She's measuring so much bigger. And towards the end of it, you know, the lady was asking me like, oh, are you taking progesterone? Like the person who does the sonogram, I forgot what whatever it's called, that's the person that asked me. She was like, oh, did the doctor happen to prescribe you progesterone? So automatically when she said that to me, I knew it was like, I wouldn't say something wrong, but I knew something was off, because the doctor did prescribe me progesterone, although I haven't taken it yet, because it was just a lot going on, and I'll talk about that later on in the video. But so my doctor basically told me that I was high risk. One, because I'm over the age of 35, so automatically when you're 35 and over, they place you in a high risk category. And secondly, because my son, who is now 9 years old, he was born early. You know, he was born 6 weeks early, 6 to 7 weeks early. And with that, they automatically place you in high risk, because if you had a preterm labor before, they try to, you know, basically say that you're at risk for it again, which I'm guessing is very true. So anyway, so the lady told me that I had asking me about progesterone pills, and the doctor did mention it. However, I didn't take the pills yet. And when the actual doctor came into the office, another doctor, because I had actually missed my appointment for that day because I thought it was another time. They kept switching up my appointment. So my original doctor that I always see, I didn't have her. I had another doctor, and that doctor came in the room, and she was like, oh, so, you know, your sonogram looks really good. The baby's heartbeat is strong. She's growing, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, however, we noticed that your cervix has gotten shorter. So I'm like, all right, you know, I don't know what that means. So she's like, your cervix has gotten shorter. From the last scan that we did, your cervix was 3.3, I believe. And she's saying, and now your cervix is at a 2.5. You know, I realized, I did my research. They say don't Google. I realized there was a lot of women that are in the same situation as me when it comes to short cervix. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is, you know, this is a lot. So I felt like nobody's story exactly matched with mine. But there's women with short cervix, and they had to get cervical cerclages, and I didn't have to go that far. And you know, I just wanted to talk about the short cervix period and how it does happen to a lot of people. Just wanted to tell my side, because my information is a little bit different from a lot of the information that I saw. So it's gotten shorter, and what that means is, you know, if it goes, they said something about if it goes under a 2.5, then it's kind of more alarming, and they consider that an incompetent cervix. So she didn't call it an incompetent cervix. She basically just was telling me that it got shorter, which also means, you know, that I'm at risk for preterm labor. However, I already know I was at risk for preterm labor because my original doctor had already told me this, but it kind of scared me because I'm like, my cervix got shorter. So then I go on. Oh, so she basically, they didn't really give me any restrictions. She just told me, you know, take it easy a little bit. Don't do any heavy lifting. Try not to be commuting as much. You know, don't commute so much unless it's by car, and lay down when you're feeling, like if your body's telling you got to lay down, and, you know, just take it a little bit easier than I would have before. Don't stand up too long. You know, don't be doing the dishes all day. and try not to cook as often as you would. And you know, I cook a lot, so there was just certain things. I'm just very happy and blessed that they told me that I did not have to go on bed rest, because it wasn't that much of a, you know, critical issue. Anyway, I went home and I'm like, I started Googling my chart. You know, they tell you don't Google anything, but let's keep it real here. Everybody is gonna Google something. Everybody's gonna Google something. So I went inside of my chart, and I'm like, you know what, since my chart shows things from my last pregnancy, it basically shows everything. So I do realize that when I first found out I was pregnant, I looked on the results and my cervix was at like a 3.5, I believe. The next time I got a sonogram after that, my cervix dropped down to actually like a 2.6. Then it went back up again to a 3.3, and now it's at a 2.5. So I'm like, okay, so there is a chance that it can get longer, and or back in length, whatever. If people say that it can't, it clearly can, because like I said, in my chart, it was basically telling me that my cervix was 1 point at 3.3, then it went to 2.5, then it went back up, then it went back down, you know. So that's where I'm at with that. And then I was looking at my chart from when I had my son, which was 9 years ago, and my cervix was about 4 centimeters or something like that, all the way up to, I was about well, the last time when I saw it, I was about 32 or 33 weeks, and my cervix was at a 4. So like I said, at this time I was only 23 weeks pregnant, and they tell me my cervix is short. So I'm like, wait, hold up, you know, that automatically puts fear in my heart. Although they telling me, you know, don't be afraid, blah blah, but you know, you are more liable to go into preterm labor with this birth. So about the progesterone pills, right, it's so crazy, and I want advice on this, because I see a lot of videos with women talking about their own progesterone pills. So I'm not sure how I'm going through this issue. So I went to the pharmacy to get the progesterone pills, and my original pharmacist, he's like, oh, I can't get that for you because we don't have that. It's a compound prescription, and you have to get that from a compound pharmacy, blah blah blah. So I'm like, cool, whatever, I'll go to Walgreens or something like that. So I go to like the Walgreens, and they're telling me that they had it, but they don't take insurance. Like, insurance doesn't cover that. So I'm like, what do you mean insurance doesn't cover it? So now I'm hearing like, and then my original pharmacist, like I said, this is the pharmacist that I have now, like the one that is convenient to me. I don't really trust him. Not say I don't trust him as far as like, he's just a little iffy sometimes. He says things that he should not say, and weird things. Like, he kept telling me that I was gaining weight, and that my face looks fat, and that I probably had preeclampsia, and I need to get myself checked out. And I'm looking at him like, bro, that's not something you say to pregnant women. And first of all, the last time I saw him, I was literally I was so skinny, I was thin. I was about 150 something pounds. So now here I am, 200 pounds. Yes, I'm 200 pounds now, and I don't really look 200 pounds, so don't get me wrong. Remember, I am 5 feet 10 inches. So the last time he saw me was way before I even started gaining weight. I was gaining weight before I got pregnant. My weight was 173, I believe. So he's like, oh, you're gaining weight, and your face looks swollen, and you probably have preeclampsia. And I'm like, shut up. Like, nobody wants to hear that. He was pissing me off so bad. But anyway, when I went to Walgreens is telling me that it's not covered. The original pharmacist also told me that it wasn't covered. He told me it was like $800 or something like that. And I'm like, $800? I said, there's no way, because there's a lot of women who's going through this, and they getting this medicine fine. And you know, I see some of them, the videos that I've seen on YouTube, some of these women, you know, are not working. They don't have jobs. They're on all types of public assistance. They don't have any money at all. So how is it that they was able to get this prescription and it's not covered by insurance? So it wasn't making sense to me. So I ended up going and texting my doctor, messenger her like an emergency, like, listen, I was told that I have a short cervix, so the progesterone pills that you told me to take a week ago, I need to get them now. And my pharmacy is telling me that it's not covered by insurance. They don't make it. It's a compound drug, blah, blah, blah. So what they ended up doing was switching it to the 200 milligram progesterone regular capsules, like the oral capsules. However, they said that the oral capsules you can also place, you know, insert that inside the vagina and use it as a suppository. So I'm like, okay, cool, I could do that. And like, I don't have any other choice. Like, that's great. They was like, it's the same thing. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath and I talk mad fast, so Jesus Christ. So she's like, you know, it's the same exact thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. So now I go back to another pharmacy, and with this pharmacy, they also have me on My doctor also has me on baby aspirin, so I take baby aspirins every single day, all the way up until 30 something weeks, or until I give birth. I can show you a picture of some of it. They're like really tiny, they're very small, so the baby aspirins are really small. She gave me baby aspirins to prevent preeclampsia. I have a list, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but preeclampsia, yeah, preeclampsia. She gave me that to take every day so that I can avoid that. And so back to the progesterone. So I went to the pharmacy, another pharmacy, to get the progesterone, and they're telling me like, oh, first of all, when I went back there, I needed a prescription transfer because they had it sent to the original pharmacist that I don't like, that kept telling me I got fat. So they sent it to him, and I told him I wanted a printout. He didn't give me a printout of the prescription. He gave me like the label that comes, that they give you, you know, after you get a prescription. It has the label part on the flap, on the packaging that they give you. He gave me that. So when I went there, they're telling me like, oh, this is not a label, and you need this, you need that. So I ended up having to call my doctor, and everything got figured out. They spoke to my doctor. My doctor told them exactly what it was that I needed, and another curveball hit. So now, mind you, I'm in this pharmacy for about a whole hour and a half trying to figure out this prescription. At least an hour at minimum, no exaggeration. So I ended up, even to the point that I even ended up going food shopping, because there's a supermarket right across the street. I went food shopping, came back, they're telling me it's not ready, there's a problem with it. And so at the end of that, when they finally figured it out, and they're like, okay, we're going to prescribe you, the doctor said to prescribe you with the 200 milligrams of progesterone capsules orally. And I'm like, yeah, I know, you know, but he's like, it can also be inserted vaginally as a suppository. So he's like, oh, but the only issue is insurance doesn't cover this. So once again, they're telling me that this is not covered by insurance. And I'm not understanding at this point, because I'm like, how, once again, how is it that so many women are on this same exact prescription as me, and I don't hear no one talking about, not one video is talking about how difficult it is to get this prescription. So I'm like, yo, you know what, I have to make a video and let women know that this shit is hard. Like, you can't just, I hope maybe it's different for other people. If it is, let me know, drop down in the comments. But I'm from New York, and that prescription, every single pharmacy is all saying the same thing. It is not covered by insurance, to the point that this pharmacy even said that they're about to not cover, stop making them or something like that. So I'm like, what is going to happen to women who need progesterone, you know? He's like, I don't know, but they are actually about to stop making it. So I'm like, okay, cool. What do I do now? So he's like, this is how much it costs. It was about $800. I'm like, I cannot afford to pay $800 right now. So what he suggested is that I pay, you know, pay like, it's $5 a pill or something like that. So what he suggested was that I just pay little by little. So what I did was I bought 10 pills, gave him $50, and I spoke to my doctor about it, so that way I could talk to her about it and see what she could do, because I let her know that's not something realistic for me to get right now. $800 on some pills. I'm like, damn. Not that, you know, if I know it's something very necessary, but honestly at that time, or even right now, like $800, I can't just pull out my ass to give pills for the whole duration of, and the fact that I don't even need them for the whole, because the $800 would basically last for about, I say like 4 something months. I don't know if I'm gonna need it. I don't have 4 months left to go. I have 3 months left, and like they said, I'm at risk of going into preterm labor, knock on wood, which I hope I at least make it to 35 weeks, 36 weeks. But I'm just gonna buy it little by little. So he said, just buy it little by little. So I started buying it little by little. I bought my 10 pills, gave him $50, and we're gonna see what my doctor's gonna do about that, because they stopped after that. She put in a message or something, and last time I came, sent in a message I see on my summary, like, you know how you go to your visit summary on your My Chart, and she spoke to someone about the issue of progesterone being very expensive and what can they do about this. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but we're gonna see. So anyway, when I went to the doctor, she was basically going over sonogram, and she was saying, yeah, I see that they're showing that your cervix got shorter. So I'm like, yeah, is there any restrictions? Is there any this? And she was like, you know, we don't really recommend people going bed rest because yours is excuse me, y'all. So yours is not as short. Yours is not considered an incompetent cervix as of yet, because I'm not under 2.5. I'm at exactly 2.5 or slash 2.6. So they didn't suggest me going backwards to anything. But my concern is the fact that they stopped doing vaginal sonograms after 24 weeks. I'm past 24 weeks. So now it's all up to me. Like, I don't even have a way of knowing whether or not my cervix is the same length, whether it got shorter, because they're no longer going to check. So they basically was telling me like, oh, just, you know, look out for signs of your water breaking. Basically everything that I don't want to hear, bro. Everything that I don't want to hear is what they was telling me. Like, oh, look out for signs of your water breaking, of, you know, cervical mucus, or if you feel moist down there. I'm always moist because I'm pregnant, and I always want my man. So I saw her, she had to specify what she meant by moist. And what she meant was basically, you know, extra, just abnormal discharge and stuff like that, and any type of signs, because they said, you know, preterm labor signs are kind of different from regular labor signs. And if I have any cramping, which I had a little bit, but it wasn't anything alarming, they said what type of cramping they're looking for is cramping that lasts about, it just keeps going. Like it stops for like 10 minutes, comes back, or stops for half an hour, comes back, like basically throughout the day. And I didn't have any of that. I had it for like a little while, and I would notice that my cramping will always come if I'm doing something really strenuous. Like if I'm walking around too much, I'm doing dishes for a long time, I'm cooking for a long time, I'm just basically on my feet, that's when I would notice that my cramps would occur. So yeah, progesterone was like a big ass headache for me, and I'm down to my last pill, which means tomorrow I gotta go back and spend another $50 for the next 10 days. I might just do 20 days and just pay $100 for it, just to, you know, have it on supply. Yeah, so another thing I want to talk about was pregnancy depression, because for a fact, I don't want to speak it, but it is what it is, only because that's what it is right now. Have been dealing with antenatal depression, I think it's called. And what antenatal depression is depression during pregnancy. And I didn't experience this with my son or my daughter, so it kind of took me by shock. And it was to the point where I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. I still sometimes have a little bit of sleepless nights, but on days that I can't eat, that's what really bothers me, because I like to eat. So I know for a fact that during moments where I don't want to eat anything, that's when I know that I'm really at my lowest, and things just hit rock bottom. And I've been like that for like, I mean, it's better now, but last week, the week before that, it has been horrible. Like, I told myself I was gonna cry on here, and I'm not. I'm a big girl. I'm gonna hold it down, because, you know, this is a very informative video, and I don't really see too many people talking about it. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna talk about it. But it's really hard. And then, you know, automatically I'm a content creator, so I can't focus on creating content, making videos, and doing all of those things when my mental is not there. It's not there. And I kind of feel like that bothers me even more, because something that I really love to do, you know, I love to make videos, I love doing my TikToks, I love my Instagram posts. So to know that I was at a point where I hit rock bottom so bad mentally that I just didn't want to do anything, and, you know, on top of other things that was going on in my life, you know, I feel like I feel like being pregnant, a lot of people don't really understand it. So, you know, there's certain people who haven't really dealt with being around pregnant women, or just don't know what it's like because they've never been pregnant or something like that. And everything is, oh, you're exaggerating, or you could do this, or you could do that. Or like, I had one friend like, oh, you could go out, you just don't, why you, like, basically making it seem like I'm pushing her off or brushing her off. And it's like, girl, no, I'm not brushing you off. I'm just not there mentally. I'm not there. I got a lot of shit, you know, going on. And, you know, I'm having a daughter, I'm having a baby girl, and I'm just so happy, because that's what we both wanted, a girl. So we got our baby girl, we got our blessing. And, you know, my mind just runs sometimes, and I start thinking about the what ifs and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and what if this happens, what if this doesn't happen, or I wonder how this is gonna go. And, you know, I think about my relationship sometimes, like, what if this, and what if this, things that I should not be thinking about, but things that you have to think about. And mentally, it's draining, you know, it's really, really draining. And I feel like, you know, I'm very lucky to have a supportive partner. You know, he's really good, but there's certain things that he wouldn't understand. Not only I will understand, because it's me, you know, it's my mind, and I get scared with a lot of things sometimes, and that starts to make me feel low. And Like, what are you, like, sometimes I question, like, what are you gonna do with this, or what are you gonna do with that? And I don't want to think like that, but I can't help, you can't control something that's on your mind so heavy. Like, certain things you can't just wipe away. Like, oh, don't, people think it's so easy. Like, when you're depressed or when you're going through something, a lot of people just hit you with the, oh, well, try to think positive. How you stop telling people to try to think positive? You know, yes, they're gonna be positive, but that's easier said than done. You think we want to be thinking negative? We don't want to think like that. Anybody that's going through something do not want, we don't say, hey, I'm gonna wake up today and I'm gonna think negative. That's not how it goes. It just happens. My brain hurts sometimes. Like, it hurts. It's just, oh, I hate going through it, and I haven't felt this feeling in a long time. So, you know, feeling the feeling of depression is like, I came so far. God took me so far, guys. When I tell you, I think that's my son. So he's so loud. When I tell you God brought me so far, to the point where I was extremely, oh my God, I was so depressed in 2020. That's my kids, yeah, so I'll be right back, y'all. Hi, JJ. Alright, so yeah, that was my kids. So I'm gonna try to speak a little bit lower because I don't really want to, like, I don't really like speaking about certain things, even though my daughter watches all my videos, but I'm gonna try to be just a little bit lower, so I hope y'all can hear me. So when you're going through antenatal depression, it is scary, for one. It's like, it's just, I don't know the words to, like, I don't know the words to describe it, but it's very exhausting, especially when you're pregnant. My hormones are already to the fucking roof, like to the sky. So to know that I'm already emotional, I'm already hormonal, and now I'm dealing with something else that I feel like I can't control. It's controllable, but it's so annoying when people say things like, oh, don't worry about me right now, or don't worry about this right now. How can you tell somebody not to worry about something that they care about? It's ridiculous. Like, if you have, that's like a mother being pregnant and their child is going through something at school, and the daughter's like, oh, don't worry about me. How am I not gonna worry? As a person, when you care about somebody, you care. You can't pick and choose when you care about that person, unless that person extremely, you know, violates you or something like that, or does something to you. And that's, you know, speaking within relationships, like if somebody violates the shit out of you. But then even then, if somebody violates the shit out of you, that's not something you could just let go and start saying, oh, F them automatically if you're pregnant and depressed. That's not how it works. So your mind is still gonna, if anything, think about them even more now, because it's like, damn, this person did this, did that. So I'm just happy that that's not something that I'm going through, but it's still, I'm going through something, and it's hitting me really, really hard. And I have to find ways to just stay zen, stay the course. You have to be mentally, listen, ladies, so my pregnant mothers out there, if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to my channel, then you probably came across this video for the same reasons that I'm making this video, you know, to give information, and you're coming to get the information and I'm coming to give it. So if you are going through antenatal, then stay focused. It's easier said than done, but stay focused. Think about your child. Think about your unborn. Think about the beautiful life that you're about to have. Think about things that make you happy. And as much as it seems to be, you know, kind of a difficult task right now because our emotions are all over the place, you got to just stay the course. You have to stay the course. And I try my best every single day because, like I said, God brought me very far. There was a point in my life where I was so down and deep and depressed. I lost myself, y'all. Like, I completely lost myself. I didn't know who I was. I would look in the mirror every day and hate myself. Like, I looked in the mirror every single day and was like, who is this girl? But I'm dealing with it. It's been a little bit better. I've built up an appetite again, but it's not always there. Like last night, I went to sleep around, I say, like, what time did we go to bed last night? I say we went to bed like around 10:30, 11 o'clock, maybe 10:30. I laid on my man's chest and I went to sleep, and I woke up around 12:30 and I could not go back to sleep. My mind was just racing. Every single thing was on my head last night. Everything possible was in my brain. every scenario, every issue, every what if, every oh my God, this might happen, or oh my God, what if this, every single idea that you can think of, or every single negative thing, or I don't know, I don't even know the word to call it, but every single thing that I was going through or thinking about or concerned about or worried about was going through my head last night, and I wasn't going back to sleep. And I hate that for me. I don't like that for me, but I'm trying my very best. Not trying, I wouldn't say try because it tries to fail, but I am doing my very best at keeping my mental health at a good state. And I just feel like some people should just have like more of a consideration for pregnant women, because you don't know what we go through. You don't know how our hormones are. You don't know how we feel. Like, we might lash out. We might say things. Like, we might get angry fast. We might get sad fast. We might get cry fast. So if you're a man or a friend or auntie, mother, or cousin, who, whatever you are, and you are close to somebody that's pregnant, if they start crying out of nowhere, don't call them a crybaby. If they get emotional, don't call them an emotional creature. Don't, if they seem to lash out and have an attitude, don't, you know, catch an attitude with them and tell them that, like, or just shut them down or dismiss them or something, because, you know, we are going through things, and sometimes it's stuff that we can't control. I sometimes realize that I can't control how I feel because I'm emotional, and I just want to be heard. You know, I just want you to listen to me. I just want to, I want you to understand something. And I feel like if I'm around somebody and they don't understand it, or they just not trying to hear me, or they're disregarding the fact that my hormones is raging and I'm just not going to be the same. I'm not going to answer things the same. I may not do things the same. That's like an ick for me. It bothers me. And then on top of, you know, me having a short cervix, that's not something I want to mix. I don't want to mix antenatal depression with having a short cervix, because I'm already going through something. So, you know, I don't want to make myself worse and worsen my situation, or because of depression and being stressed out. Because you have to, the one thing that you have to avoid when you're pregnant is stress. Do not be stressed out. Don't let nobody stress you out. And be around positive people, and just try to maintain and be as happy as possible in that pregnancy. But yeah, so my man is calling me, but hello?
What are you doing?
Yeah, my man is hilarious. Like, he is the funniest person in the world. Like, he matches my funny so much that is just crazy, but he's stupid. Anyway, yeah, happy new year to everyone. I hope everyone has a very prosperous and amazing new year, and let go of things that, you know, I don't do the whole reset and the New Year's resolution thing. Like, things that I wanted to work on, I started working on back in freaking November, December. So I just want everybody to be happy. I want all us moms, expecting moms, to, you know, have faith in our pregnancies, because trust me, there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel. And if you're going through this, you are definitely not alone. I wish everyone the best of luck and for healthy and safe deliveries and babies. And I just want to thank you guys, you know, for stopping by to my video. And if you want to follow the rest of my pregnancy journey, because I promise I will be vlogging a little bit more, you know. But if I don't vlog as much, if I miss a week or miss 2 weeks, you know, don't get mad at me. Please don't get mad at me. As I said, this is not easy. Picking up this camera was so difficult. It was so hard. I don't want to be around cameras sometimes. I don't want to vlog. I don't want to edit. I don't want to. There's certain things that my mind is not allowing me to do. And it was just hard. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to follow my pregnancy journey. And I hope to make new friends and new pregnant mom friends, and, you know, stuff like that. Comment down below if you have gone through this, and, you know, what's your experience? What is your experience now? What was your experience previously? If you had the same issues with progesterone, with it being, you know, expensive or not being covered by insurance, you know, just let me know. I want to know some details too. So thank you guys for stopping by, and that's the end of this video. So I'm gonna get back to being a mom and maintaining my household. I gotta cook. I love you guys so much. And anyway, yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate y'all, and I can't wait to grow with you guys. And yeah, have a good night, and once again, happy new year. I love y'all. Bye.